Baby crying, Tammy. Previously on 1,000-Pound Sisters. Jesus, dude, cut that nail, man. A new Gen Xbox console will be priced lower than a vial of insulin that keeps me alive for a week. $300 versus $324. Imagine having to buy an Xbox every week for the rest of your life just to survive. This is my America. Japan Inn that changed hot spring bathwater twice a year found with bacteria 3,700 times over the limit. I wonder why? What? Legionella bacteria was found to have caused an individual who had visited multiple locations, including, where does it matter? Inn admitted it had only been changing its bathwater twice a year and had not been properly adding chlorine since 2019. I can't imagine taking a bath in chlorinated water, but I also can't imagine only changing the water out twice a year. Celebrities are going makeup-free while social distancing. They're so brave. Thank you for sharing their story. The day my husband asks me to pay halves on rent is the day I pack my bags. And go where? You can't even afford half rent. Hey, I'd like to buy a candy bar with my membership card. Sure thing, that'll be $345. What? $345? Well, without the card, it's $5,450. Oh, that's not bad, I guess. Yeah, that is it. That's it. Oh my God, that's it. And sometimes it's even cheaper if you just say, what if I just actually paid you cash? No, I'm not an insurance company, so you're not going to bill me whatever you think I'll pay. What's it actually cost? What's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich? Getting money from the government. Welcome to Ohio. Don't get caught in the rain. Sponsored by Norfolk Southern. A couple dividing up their Beanie Baby collection in divorce court. I have seen this image. It's super weird, but you do you. I really don't care all that much. McDonald's workers in Denmark get $22 an hour, 6 weeks paid vacation, year paid maternity leave, pension, and universal healthcare sick leave. In the US, that job can be $7.25 an hour with no benefits. The cost for all this? The Denmark Big Mac costs 27 cents more. Mexican workers getting paid $60 a week. Isn't it awesome? Cleaned the wife's cast iron pan today. You wouldn't believe how dirty this thing was. You can't scare me, okay? I put Teflon pans in the dishwasher. Hey, remember when the Panama Papers came out and revealed that all the rich people in the world are part of an enormous criminal conspiracy to dodge taxes and hoard stolen wealth in offshore accounts and literally nothing happened? Oh, well, that's not quite true, though. The reporter behind the story was murdered. I wonder why. Drake reportedly shuts down restaurant for dinner with 18-year-old model. Cool. I'm so excited. Who run the world? Beyoncé, the idol of bourgeois liberal feminists, pays 64 cents an hour to female workers who make clothes of her brand. Now, is she herself actually the one doing it, as this is trying to make you think? Or is it she paid a bunch of businesses and got, a bunch of people involved as middlemen that are the ones actually doing it? What's really going on? Since 1978, the cost of college tuition has increased by 1,100%. We don't want smart young people. Medical care increased by 601%. Oh, well, them poors don't deserve medical care. Housing costs increased by 380%. Oh, because corporations are allowed to buy homes. Meanwhile, the pay of typical workers rose by just 10%. Oh, you're worthless. Minimum wage workers fell by 5.5%. Robots, baby. And the average CEO's pay increased by 937%. Even though I can't think of a single CEO off the top of my head that's currently alive, dead, whatever, that is worth any of the money they get paid. Boy cleaning slaughterhouse in Nebraska. Photo provided by Department of Labor investigators. Woo! 1800s child labor is back. Send the children to the mines. Inmate claims he was choked by deputies for smiling in his mugshot. Claims? He's literally getting choked in the picture. It's proof right there. They are doing it. Claims? Dramatic photos from around the globe record mankind's destruction of the planet. Oh, I've seen this picture before. We're so awesome. But to be fair, what choice do we, the normal people, have? Seriously, there's no ethical consumption anywhere here, man. Companies want you to think about your personal carbon footprint like they're not the ones who are providing stuff that we literally have to buy. The illusion of choice is probably one of the bigger contributors to this, all right? I don't have the choice to buy any food that was, produced well. There's no such thing, man. Like, goddamn. Happy days, everyone. happy days. So I was breastfeeding my 7-year-old son, Ezra, and he stopped, looked at me to tell me his tight hurts, right where his diaper rubs, and he has a big burn. I don't know where he got it. Wait, what? Breastfeeding a 7-year-old is weird, I don't care, but him being in diapers? Is he disabled, or does he have anything that makes him need a diaper? Sorry if this is rude to ask. It's fine, and he's perfectly healthy and has no problems. He's my baby, and my oldest is 14. I chose to breastfeed him till he wants to stop. He loves to suck, and I chose not to potty train him because I love the baby stage, and that part's abuse. Yeah, I chose not to teach him how to use a fucking toilet because I just think it's so cute when babies shit their fucking pants, dude. Like, that's so weird. You need a goddamn therapist. If I have a medical emergency, don't you dare call an ambulance. Y'all better Uber my ass to the hospital because we're not about to pay $5,000 for the ride in the Wii U wagon. Everyone outside of the USA. Wait, is an ambulance not free in the USA? Nope. That's why you see women driving to hospitals while pregnant in cars and movies and stuff. Welcome to capitalism. May I take your order? No. I've told my friends that if I ever get into any serious danger, anything weird, whether it's likely or not, you're gonna have to let me f***ing die, dude, because that's just the way it is over here. A company worth $55 quindrabillion offered $5 for each resident who had to flee their home due to the disaster it caused. They're never gonna be held accountable. Certain people just love corporations too much. Christian mechanic has been sentenced to death for blasphemy. Yay! Boy, age 3, is reported to police for flashing after he waved at neighbors from a window in his home while naked. What? Okay. This is Alex Smith. He died this year at the age of 26 because he couldn't afford insulin in America. He made $35,000 a year as a restaurant manager and couldn't afford his $450 a month health insurance with a $7,600 out-of-pocket deductible. The insulin he needed for diabetes was $1,300 a month. When he turned 26 and was kicked off his mom's insurance, he started rationing his insulin. He died a month later. All of this in the richest country in the world. This 2-year-old's family couldn't afford his $20,000 electric wheelchair, and their insurance didn't cover it. So a high school robotics team built him one for free. We live in a dystopian nightmare where 2-year-old children with acute mobility challenges and whose parents have insurance must rely on a high school robotics team for basic healthcare needs. Fix that for you. CBS putting on the damn clown nose. Nashville congressional representative John Rose pictured with his fiancée, now wife, in 2011. She was a college junior. He was 46. They met at a 4-H event before she graduated high school. There are so many things I could say here. We're just going to move on, though, because I would like for this to be done. How has serving impacted you? I was the first in my family to go to college on an ROTC scholarship, but I came out as gay in 1992. The Army kicked me out and made me pay back that scholarship. At age 45, I still owe money on that. A running top. Don't shoot, it's just cardio. Saddest part is, he's not even doing that to be funny. He's doing that because someone might just want to have him killed, so they'll call the cops, because black man's running around, right? It's so cool. Awesome. A homeless man held up and robbed a bank for $1, then sat down and waited for the police to come and arrest him so he could receive health care in prison. Save some cousins for the rest of us. Nah, you can have them all. This is the embodiment of Australia. Western Australia covered under huge amounts of snake-infested sea foam. Seriously, we need more posts like this on this subreddit, but instead I get the Costco bulletproof backpack for children, only in America. Donald's parents. Any questions? This all makes a little more sense now. Lori Loughlin was just sentenced to 2 months in prison for paying bribes to get her daughters into USC. This is the same system that sentenced Crystal Mason, a black mother of 3, to 5 years for voting when she didn't realize a past felony conviction made her ineligible. When did you realize your parents were bad at parenting? When I was 6, my mom was making me pee in a cup once a month for school. Then one day my mom asked me again while I was playing with my older brother. I got up, but my brother grabbed my shirt to stop me and without looking up from our game said, "She's using you to pass her drug tests. Sit down." The yellow line is the size of SeaWorld's parking lot. The green dot is where orcas will spend their entire lives. Oh yeah, after the, what was the documentary? Was it Blackfish or something like that? Didn't SeaWorld finally go, fine, we won't keep the large animals anymore, or did they just make that shit up? Oh, so this is what happened to the good cops. So, here are the good cops we kept hearing about. Damn shame. Fired for stopping an incident of police brutality. Fired for reporting fellow officers for police brutality. Fired for exposing corruption in her department. Fired for reporting an officer who was a sexual predator. Fired for reporting a fellow officer for fired for stopping an incident of police brutality. I bet this list will just keep going. I'm a 14-year-old who has brain cancer and is going to die within 3 weeks. I was diagnosed at 10 years old and was estimated to have 5 to 15 years left. But the tumor started growing more rapidly, and after I got frequent migraines and was throwing up, it was revealed that the tumor was rapidly growing and spreading. Edit. Currently in the hospital right now, after I started noticing it's becoming quite difficult to move around efficiently. I may have to stop the AMA soon if I'm no longer able to process language and or move around, or I may have a family member do it for me. I'll keep you guys informed, though I won't be active for a few days. Sorry guys, this is fake as hell. I'm 14, but yeah, I love karma. I hope you got banned. That's a lot of money for the East Palestine train derailment victims. That's our stock buyback and lobbying stash. This is for the train derailment victims. What are you gonna do when we can't afford to purchase your shit? I got tested for a bunch of STDs and they didn't get back to me for a week. So I called and the woman was like, okay, you got chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, and you tested negative for all of them. Ma'am, why would you say it like that? Because she's stupid or an asshole. Adverse reaction to anabolic steroids. Yeah, I'd say that's an adverse reaction, pharmaceutical giant. This medicine costs $3 to make, but I'm selling it to sick people for $300 because, well, I know they can't just refuse to buy it. Rich people, that's a smart business strategy. Reddit users, these GameStop shares cost me $3 each, but I'm selling them to short investors for $300 each because I know they can't just refuse to buy it. The horror! Government, put a stop to this! A photo of a school in Afghanistan closed due to security issues. The students showed up bright and early anyway. Teachers said goodbye to their female students who won't be allowed to go to school anymore. A humbling, helpless feeling. School board won't reverse 4th grade boy's suspension for BB gun incident during virtual school. Let's see here. The incident was the fact that the BB gun was briefly visible in his room during a Zoom class. How goddamn cool. How to avoid tax legally. Company X, based in the US, wants to avoid paying tax on their earnings. They do this by setting up incorporation company called Y in the Cayman Islands where there is zero tax. Company Y cleverly owns the intellectual property. X makes $50 billion after expenses, but they don't want to pay the tax on that profit. Since Y is still owed for their licensing the IP out, X must now pay Y whatever Y is owed. Y charges $50 billion for renting out their IP to X. Company X's profit is now zero. Therefore, they pay zero tax because you only pay tax on profit. Company Y's profit is now $50 billion, and with a zero tax rate in the Cayman Islands, they pay zero tax. Remember, X and Y are the same company working together. They're just separate entities. And that is how it gets done. You've got to be the worst kind of heartless twat if you go around slashing homeless people's tents. U.S. military super spreader who infected 23 people kissed multiple employees on German bar crawl despite not feeling well enough to work, and while waiting on her test results, as she now faces 10 years in jail. I love people. My wife has cancer. It took 5 months to wipe out 20 years of life savings, and that was with insurance. The experience has turned me into a hateful, bitter person. We did everything we were told. We went to college, got degrees, avoided credit card debt, spent wisely, saved a nice chunk of money in savings accounts and retirement accounts, and minded our own business. The USA healthcare system took all of our life savings and retirement and forced us to refinance our house so that we lost 15 years of equity. This is a country I'm supposed to be proud of. I hate this system and anyone that defends it. Yeah, it's super awesome. I haven't had health insurance for years now because I'm too old and can't afford it. It's just that expensive. And the best part is, it's that expensive at its lowest, shittiest level. I don't get to go to the doctor. I don't get to get my teeth looked at. I just have to be perfectly healthy until someday I get lucky or become a millionaire. A small business began selling camera tripods on Amazon. It reached $3.5 million in sales, 0.001% of Amazon's annual revenue. Amazon copied the tripods exactly and sold them as Amazon Basics tripods. Amazon banned the tripod company from Amazon. Of course they did. Oh. Ex-con skips job interview, takes shirt off his back to save car crash victim. Imagine rescuing someone from a car crash, risking your own life, and then being called an ex-con. His name is Aaron Tucker. If y'all want to know the true power of hate, just remember that Alan Turing, the breaker of the Enigma code in World War II, was driven to suicide by being forced to undergo chemical castration as a punishment for his homosexuality. Historians say he saved 14 to 21 million lives. I'd also like to say, in the time we studied World War II in school, no history textbooks ever mentioned him. I had never heard of the guy until I watched The Imitation Game, which I 110% recommend you watch if you haven't. Alan Turing was a blessing to humanity who saved, once again, 14 to 21 million lives, and he's left out of history because he was gay. Amazon making blatantly fake Twitter accounts ahead of the union vote to discourage workers from unionizing. It's so cool that they get to do this. They just get to do whatever they want with zero consequence forever. So, you're sick of isolation? Yeah, these animals do legitimately go f***ing insane because we think they're toys. Look, there are some zoos out there that genuinely do great work and have helped revitalize species, right? I think the San Diego Zoo has very high accolades for doing such things. But there are so many zoos across not even just the US, the world, that think that they're little playthings and sort of just get as much money out of them until they die? I don't know. It's all gross. Today's not a good day. My dad spent a week in the hospital for a heart attack, and this is what we owe. See, my dad was smart. He had a heart attack, and instead of going to the hospital, he just died. The funeral was only $6,000. I do miss my dad, though. Always remember, however little it may help, it's something. They hand you a bill like that, you demand it be itemized, and 9 times out of 10, it'll come back smaller, because you know damn well that a Benadryl don't cost $50, so, you know, you're not the insurance company that they're trying to almost scam, you know? At the very least say, hey, dude, are you on actual crap? Because what makes you think anybody has $131,000 shoved up their asshole to pay you with? What radicalized you? When I was 17, I worked at a bagel place, and each night we loaded dumpsters of bagels from the day. A homeless man came in and asked for a bagel. Rather than throw them out, I gave him a few in a plastic bag. My boss reviewed the cameras and fired me for feeding the animals. Your boss should be absolutely beaten down with a wet blanket, man. Straight up. You know what? Bars of soap in the socks will beat the shit out of your old boss. Because clearly, he needs a little bit of an attitude adjustment. In elementary school, I had reduced lunch, 40 cents a day. So my mom would usually give me $2 and the lunch lady would tally it on my account to cover my lunch for the whole week. One day, when I was 8, my mom had literally zero cash, so she wrote a check for the $2. The check actually bounced. The next day, when I went through the lunch line with my food, the machine said I owed $30. Normally, when I missed payments, they just put it on my tab and let me go about lunch, but this time the lunch lady actually took away my tray of food. There was a point where if a student owed too much money, they didn't even let the students put it on their tab anymore, and I was now over that threshold. So I was told I'd get no more lunches until I got the debt paid off. I started crying and panicking because to an 8-year-old in a poor family, $30 may as well be $1 billion. But she just shooed me along because the line was building up behind me. It's so fun. It's so fun. Children don't deserve to eat. I know exactly who voted for like this. Probably the same folks who always use kids as their main argument. They don't need to eat, though.